Hello guys, have you ever searched for a new place to visit in Europe? And suddenly TikTok shows you tons of videos about the Albanian Riviera? That all say the same thing, beautiful beaches that look like in the Caribbean and a luxury lifestyle that's super cheap, all in Europe. So we decided to go and see it with our own eyes. We traveled to Albania and visit these amazing places and find out if what we see on TikTok and from the influencers is actually true. And we were really surprised. But let's start from the beginning. How can you get to Albania, and more exactly to the Albanian Riviera?
There are two ways to go to the Albanian Riviera. The first one is to fly to Tirana and then take a bus to Sarande. The other way is the one that we took. We started by flying from Stockholm to Zadar, Croatia. We spent a couple of days there, but we will show that part in another video. From Croatia we flew to Corfu with a quick layover in Milan. When we landed in Corfu, we took a bus to the city center and then we walked over to the harbor. Meanwhile waiting for the boat, we ordered a traditional Greek salad, very delicious. Then we had to wait for the boat that was very delayed. The boat from Corfu to Sarande in Albania takes 1 hour and 15 minutes. And it cost us 120 euros for 2 tickets, go and back. We choose a hotel in Sarande instead of Ksamil, mostly because the prices were better. We also really wanted a hotel with a pool. The bathroom was fresh and modern, but every time we took a shower, water leaked out because there was no wall between the toilet and the shower. Still, the room was very clean and had a good size. The best part though was the amazing view. Since the hotel is located high up, we could see all of Sarandë and the harbor from our balcony. The only downside was the location of the hotel.
The next morning we went out to explore Sarande and saw that the water was as clear as the videos had promised. However, the streets were not what we expected, and there were very few shops, at least around to our hotel. When we came back, we decided to cross a small stream and it turned into a real adventure. We thought that there was no current, but it was actually very strong. In fact, more people trying to cross after us and almost drowned because of the water.
Keep walking.
Ow.
Fy fan.
We decided to spend the whole day in our hotel, but in the evening we went out to the center of Sarande, where most of the shops and restaurants are. The first thing we noticed was that there wasn't much public transport, so we decided to walk. It took us about 20 minutes to walk from our hotel to the city center. On the way, we saw several stray dogs, and many of them looked really skinny. Actually, one of them walked with us for a big part of our way.
Near the hotels you will find restaurants, supermarkets and souvenir shops along the streets. When you get to the harbor, there's a long street filled with places to eat. You can try food from many different countries, but finding traditional Albanian food can be a bit tricky. Most of the restaurants serve Greek or Italian cuisine.
Getting back to our hotel was a real challenge. We couldn't find any public transportation and the taxi said that we need to pay 50 euros at that hour. So we decided to get back walking. And the roads had no lights at all. It wasn't just hard to see, there was also this constant feeling of insecurity. Yes.
And I think I see you. You think you will go in?
It has lights. That was good because the car will show how the road is.
Yeah.
This is what we are facing, guys.
Even more scary, what would you do?
You need to walk all this fucking way in the darkness. And we just start to record at the end. Too crazy. The next day we decided to go to Ksamil looking for a paradisiac beaches and a low-cost luxury that TikTok had promised. But first we needed to exchange our euros for legs, the currency of Albania. Luckily, the staff from our hotel were super helpful and took care of it for us, because the exchange rates at the money exchange was very ridiculous. To get to Ksamil you can take bus, get a taxi or rent a car. We decided to go by taxi and come back by bus. The cost was about $20 for the taxi and $1.50 per person for the bus. When we arrived, it felt like there were more shops than in Sarande, but still, it wasn't what we expected. We went out to look for a beach to spend the day, and we found out that not all the beaches that are supposed to be public are actually public. Many were taken over by restaurants, bars or hotels. If you want to sit and use one basic chair, they can charge you 50 euros. And if it's one of those sunsets you see in TikTok, it can cost 100 euros or even 150 euros depending on the place. So, where was the low-cost luxury trip that we were promised? After walking and asking around, a man offered us to stay on the beach and use his chairs if we ate at a restaurant. We agreed because, well, we needed to have a lunch anyway.
Are you happy? But it looks good. I can see what they mean about the beaches and the water. It really looks beautiful and I can only imagine on a sunny day. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best weather. But it wasn't the long white beaches I had expected. Instead, there were mostly small beaches and each one was owned by a restaurant. You could not really walk along the beach for a long time next to the ocean. It was easier to walk on the street above the beaches and then choose the one that you wanted to stay at. What was a bit disappointing was how some restaurants took advantage of tourists by charging really high prices. Sarande is a beautiful city with a charming harbor. There are many new hotels being built, the beaches are nice and the food is good. But that's basically it. There is one castle that you can visit, but not much else when it comes to history or things to do. I would recommend visiting Sarande and Ksamil for a day or two if you're already in Corfu. It is worth a short trip.
We finally had to leave the Albanian Riviera because we had our flight to Athens. We decided to leave early so we could enjoy and explore a bit of Corfu, the island where we first arrived before going to Albania and which is literally just across the water. To be honest, Corfu feels much more touristic than Albania, but it also has something really special. The castle, the food, and especially the culture you feel while you are walking through the old streets really call our attention. Corfu has a mix of influence from the Venetians, French, and British, and you can see that in the buildings, the colors, and even the vibe of the people. We would really love to go back one day and explore more, because this time we only got a small taste of it. Traditional baklava. How it is? Nice. At the end, we arrived at Corfu airport, and honestly, we didn't like it so much. It's small, there is no air conditioning, and there isn't much to do while you are waiting. But it makes sense, it's a small airport on an island. From there, we flew to Athens, and if you want to see what happened there, we already have a video on our channel, so you can check it out.